Whew. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm drinking milk right out of the carton, which I can do because I'm an adult. Kind of. I'm using this mic again because, well, just because, really. It is better. It picks up the sound better, and it picks up less of the big... this fucking monstrosity, which needs replaced because it's getting fucking old and it's not really meeting my needs as well as it once did. But yeah, I wanted to kind of talk maybe a little bit about power and the accumulation of power and the means by which power is gained. A lot of popular shows have this theme. I mean, well, it's been a literary theme for a while, but I'll use contemporary examples because I'm more familiar with them, and I'm sure you guys are too. House of Cards, Game of Thrones, for you anime fans, maybe Death Note or Code Geass. You know, and you see that they're basically sagas about achieving greater and greater and greater power, as much as the power as you could possibly attain for yourself, and the means by which power is earned or gained is universally deception, brutality, just being cutthroat, you know, having no empathy for your enemies, or, you know, sometimes, in fact, no empathy for your fellow man whatsoever, or very limited empathy in very particular situations. And I think that's pretty accurate. I mean, and it's kind of strange that we as human beings accept that. Like, to me, it's kind of strange that, you know, everyone watches House of Cards, you know, like, well, not everyone, but a lot of people have watched House of Cards. I mean, it's like, you know, the big Netflix original, huge success. Kevin Spacey and, you know, all these directors like David Fincher and Joel Schumacher and a bunch of others. You know, and I mean, we watch this and we see, like, okay, well, this guy is a congressman and he's ultra corrupt and he does all this shit. And a lot of people believe that, you know, what goes down in Congress is probably pretty similar to that. Like, the mindset of the politician is actually probably pretty similar to Frank Underwood, the main character of House of Cards. And yet no one tries to change that status quo. Like, it's never like we need to fucking overhaul this entire system to eliminate this behavior to whatever extent we possibly can. It's always just like, well, we need someone else in there, you know, like, we got who's in there now? A Republican? We'll put a Democrat in there. Who's in there now? A Democrat? Put a Republican in there. You know, oh, well, that guy, this guy is a lecherous fucking fuck that cheats on his wife and does all this horrible shit. Well, let's get this other guy in there that seems like a fucking goody two shoes, but he's probably just as bad. Like, he's probably got dead children buried under his house or some shit. You know, it's just like we just keep changing the people around. In fact, usually we don't even change the people around. Usually we keep electing the same monsters, even though we really know they're pieces of shit, and that the only way they can even survive in the system that they're in is by being pieces of shit, and no one really ever says we should change that. I mean, well, some people do, but they're like the fringe. That's like you know, we don't need to take them seriously. That because you know, the only politics we take seriously is party politics. You know, you can be, here's the center. Here's you know, then there's left and right. Well, I don't know which is which for you guys. This is my left. This is my right. But yeah, I mean, you know, the left and the right, and it's like, okay, well, that, you know, that there's no, if you're too far to either of those directions, we don't like you. If you reject that entire dichotomy, we don't like you. If you're more about changing the way the system operates as opposed to getting involved in, say, like social issues or fiscal issues, then, you know, we're not with you. That's not even on the table for discussion. You know, we don't change that infrastructure. Like, and we know that our corporations are full of I mean, like, we encourage this highly competitive atmosphere, but we know that highly competitive atmosphere leads to, you know, cutthroat shit and people fucking each other over and trying as hard as they can to, you know, fuck over their own employees. I mean, that we've seen the fucking growing wage gap in America. The Republicans in the fucking House just voted to get rid of paid overtime. You know, basically, like, you know, but we still just encourage that culture of, like, yeah, get power. That's what you need more than anything, is power, power, power. Like, even here on YouTube, you can feel, like, I know, because, I mean, I have one of the larger channels. There's this enormous pressure to, like, you gotta surpass everyone else. You gotta be the best. You know, and even if you're not the best on all of YouTube, you gotta be the best of the kind of shit that you do. You know, and you know, maybe it's not quite as cutthroat, but there's still this force that just compels you, like, rise in the hierarchy, rise in the hierarchy. And part of it is like human nature. It's not just exclusively human nature. Any sort of hierarchical, any sort of species that divides itself into, like, hierarchical structures is going to have that. You know, there's always going to be pressure to be towards the top, and there's always going to be a feeling of misery for those, you know, closer to the bottom. And I mean, it just seems like we never really have a discussion about that dynamic. That's not even something that anyone talks about in this country or anywhere else. You know, it's like a bunch of hoity-toity fucking intellectuals will sit there and fucking talk about it maybe sometimes here and there, but, like, average people don't really talk about the nature of the structure of power. And it's unfortunate, because, I mean, that seems like the dialogue that America really needs to have. Well, not just America, but, you know, the human race in general.